Tubes or tubeless tires? This is a good question, isn't it? In this video, I'm gonna share my opinion on this topic. So if you have nothing to do, grab your favorite drink and stay with me. Welcome back. Straight to the question, tubes or tubeless tires? This topic actually is very controversial and will cause different defending reactions from both sides. Some people will swear that there is nothing better than the old-fashioned tubes. Others will say that tubeless is the key to go, and this actually is absolutely normal. I will agree with both sides. In this video, I'm not going to vote for one of the options or try to convince you that one is better than another. No, what I will do is to share my opinion and my experience on this topic with the idea to help you at least one person to make the right choice. I guess that you already know, or you are about to find out, how uncomfortable it is to have a flat tire on the road, especially when it happens on high speed or not on the proper places. To have a flat tire, especially front tire, on the highways with high speed, it's very dangerous situations, and in 99% of the cases it's finished very bad. And when I said not the proper places, I meant that, let's say, blind shoulder or dirt roads or gravel roads or somewhere in the bush or maybe far away from the civilization where you cannot receive help when you need it. I've got one similar situation. Once I was riding on the highway in Germany with around 110 kilometers per hour when suddenly the front tire actually exploded, like poof, and the bike started to moving from left to right, like without any control. I was just praying that I'm not going to go down, and I was reminding myself, don't touch the front, don't touch the front, and I stopped very quickly. I don't know even how, with the rear, and I was able to pull over and stop the motorcycle on the side of the road. But it was just a big luck that there were no cars or trucks at that moment on the highway, otherwise, or maybe behind me, otherwise it will be just a fatal situation. But it was so dangerous and it happened so fast that I cannot do anything else than to try to keep the motorcycle in straight position, which is not easy at all. So finally, when I stopped and opened the tire, I found a big metal piece that actually punched the tire and penetrated the tube. But because it was very big and very wide open, the air dropped very quickly, and until I stopped when the tire was rotating, this metal piece was working like a sewing machine, make 6 more holes on around the same spot. So the tire was already rubbish, I cannot even fix it. But this is just one of the situations that I've got with flats that I will remember it forever. With the rear tire, it's not that bad because it will give you some time for reaction, at least in most of the cases, but it is still a dangerous situation, especially, as I said earlier, if you're in the middle of nowhere. So let me tell you another one of my personal situations that, who knows, might help you. I was riding in Ladakh, North India, when I felt that the rear was moving slowly like that. And I knew from the first moment that it's a flat tire, but because it was on around 5,000 meters above the sea level, it was a dirt road, making like curvy roads in the middle of nowhere. I just don't want to believe that it is a flat, and I thought maybe it was a small stone or something, and it happens again after a few minutes. And I know from the first time that it was a flat, but again I just refuse to believe that it's going to be the flat tire. So when it happened on the third time, I already stopped and realized that the tire is flat. And believe it or not, this is not a good place to have a flat tire. And here now I expect many people to say, oh, what is the problem? I have a tire levers with me, I can fix spare tire anywhere, no matter where on the road. But it's not exactly like that. There is always 10% risk that you wouldn't be able to change it, especially in these areas. I have a full video on this topic, what exactly you have to do, and actually the topic of the video was, did I make a mistake or something like that. I will link it here so you can watch it. But on this high altitude, there are many different things that you should know before you decided to change your tire. For example, patches doesn't work. It was even 5 degrees Celsius, it was cold. Patches doesn't work. Pumps doesn't work because there is no enough air. About air compressors, I'm not sure, but I really doubt that they will work the same way that they work here on the level of the sea. So all of these things are different when you're in different environment, when you're tired, when you don't have enough air, when you need a lot of power to change the tire. So you always got this like 10% risk that you wouldn't be able to change it, and this one you shouldn't forget, never ever. Now with all of this information, if you go back to the original questions, tubes or tubeless tires, it looks like with the tubeless tires everything is going to be much easier, right? Yes, I will partly agree with this statement, but you can also bend the rim of your tubeless tires, or you can damage the vent, or the sealing band might start leaking air, so you never know what exactly will happen, especially if you ride on very bad roads and you have to hit the potholes all the time. So if this is happening in the middle of nowhere, it is obvious that you're gonna need a tire repair shop. But if you're in the middle of nowhere, you will have just a few options to try to repair your wheel with a hammer if you don't have, with a big stone, and eventually believing that this will stop the air that was leaking from it. Or if you need to remove the tire and try to fix the band, you will need brake levers, which are probably won't exist in your luggage because you have tubeless tires. Or you will need a spare tube to fix it in, if you have one, because I don't think that you will carry one if you have a tubeless tire kit. And of course you're gonna need some skills. But all of this is not that easy, because some of the new models that I have seen with tubeless tires, like KTM for example, the vent is mounted on the side, not in the middle of the rim. So even if you have a tube, it won't be that easy to have the tube when the vent is on the side. And many more different obstacles that will bring you again to point number one, tubes or tubeless. And here now you might stop me and say, oh, come on, Pavlin, you're too negative. What are the chances any of this to happen? Well, I will say that the chances are like 10%. Exactly what is the situation with the tube tires. You have 10% risk to have the situation that you cannot fix on the road. In fact, I have seen this with my own eyes a number of times. One that I remember now was a couple from Austria with a Suzuki V-Strom 1000. They've got, of course, these tubeless tires, but somewhere on the road they hit the rear and damaged the rim really badly. For about a week they tried to fix the rim or to find another rim to continue traveling, but they couldn't, because I met them in Pakistan. It's not that easy to find the spare parts around the world outside of Europe. So after a week or a little bit more, they finally found a tube. It was difficult for them even to find the proper tube to fix in and continue their trip. But there are many situations like this. Alright, with all of that being said, it looks like the tubeless tires are a better option, right? They're safer on the road and off-road. They don't drop the air fast, they don't explode. So in terms of safety, they're much better. They're easy to repair in 90% of the cases. Even with this 10% risk, they're still better option than the original tubes, right? I will agree with this statement. They give this, I'll say, necessary safety that many of you will need on the road, but don't forget that the safety is just an illusion. So far I spoke like politician or said nothing, and now I expect many of you to ask me what I prefer and what will be my choice. Well, both options got some pros and cons. I can fix a flat tire, and I've done it a few times during my trips with tubes and with tubeless tires, so I'm not afraid of it. But as I said before, these 10% risks exist in both options. Come on, Pavlen, stop being politician and tell us finally what are your preferences. Alright guys, let me tell you this way. If the bike that I like and plan to buy comes with tubeless tires, that will be great. But if it's not, like the Tenere that I'm riding now at the moment, I'm alright too. I do not have any plans to buy aftermarket tubeless kits or something like that, because I don't really need it. But your opinion or what you're gonna buy could be absolutely different, and I would like to hear from you in the comment section below. Always ride safe and see you next time. Ciao!